Hi, I'm Doug Betts. Welcome to my new YouTube channel, Live Windows Training. This is where I help people with whatever professional computer consulting services they might need for their computers without them having to pay for that. To find out how to request a session with me, you can go to the website LiveWindowsTraining.com and find out how to request a session. So today, what I'm going to do is deal with the subject of fixing the public-private network setting after a Windows update occurs. So what happens is with Windows 10 updates, sometimes it breaks your network to where you can't access files or printers. So I'm going to show that symptom, what it looks like, and show how to fix it. The fix is pretty easy. And this is a blue label video. The text in the main body of the thumbnail on my videos are colored green or blue or black, and that indicates the level of expertise that the video is aimed for. Green is aimed for end users. Blue is aimed for advanced users. That would be people who primarily use their computers for productivity purposes, but like to be able to fix their own problems when they can. And then the black text thumbnails are indicating for computer technicians or computer enthusiasts that like to be able to do more than just fix their own problems. They're called upon to help other people and fix problems with other computers, and they just enjoy learning more about computers. So this is what I consider a blue label, where this is something that breaks on your system, on your computer. Probably doesn't happen very often. And in that type of scenario, the typical end user doesn't want to be bothered with having to remember how to do this. But the people that I consider a blue level would be willing to remember this and be able to fix it without having to call their computer support. So let's go to camera 3 so that I can show you these 3 screens, this computer, and this computer. They're all going to be involved today. So I've set up on this computer a file sharing, a drive letter mapped to a folder on this computer. And right now that's broken. Simulating a Windows update, breaking the connection. This computer has connection to another computer that's not visible to you right now that has a shared printer. So let's go first to this computer and show you the Windows Explorer. I'll open that. And on the left-hand side, if I scroll down, I'll find that F drive letter that's mapped to a folder on the middle computer. And it's showing a red X. And if I click on that, try to access files that are on that computer, I'm going to get an error message. Whoops, wait a minute. I don't have you on the right computer. All right, that's this computer. Here's that F drive and the red X. And right now it's trying to gain access to the files that are in that share, and it's going to fail. So this happens when Windows Update changes the network profile from private to public. The concept of being on a public network is like if you have a laptop computer and you're at a Starbucks or some other place that has a public Wi-Fi, you don't want other people to be able to access files that are on your computer. So the computer, Windows 10, will automatically switch to a public network profile when it senses that it's on a Wi-Fi system that you haven't previously identified as a trusted network to you. So here we got an error occurred while connecting F colon to Lenovo-1, which is the name of that computer that's in the middle of my 3 computers. And it's trying to access a folder called videos. Microsoft Windows Network, the network path was not found. The connection has not been restored. So I'm going to close that and close this window. I'm going to come down to the system tray where this icon that looks like a computer monitor. When I float the mouse over that icon, it shows me the words Network Internet Access. I'll click the right mouse button and then open Network and Internet Settings. And I see that this computer is on a public network, or the network profile is set to public network. I can come down here to this link that says change connection properties, left click on that. Left click again like I mean it. Okay, then it opened up. And this shows that I'm on a public network profile. All I have to do is change that to a private network profile. Now that's not going to fix my problem just yet because I just changed that setting on this computer. If I come back to Windows Explorer, I'm going to find that red X is still there and I still cannot access the files on that network share. By changing the network profile of this computer to private, that means other computers could access files that are on this computer if I have them set up to be shared, but I don't. What I need to do is fix that setting on this computer that's called Lenovo-1. And that's the computer I showed you that's in the middle. So I'm going to close this. There's that error message again. I'm going to close this window. Then we'll go to the computer in the middle. Up here in the upper left corner, we actually see the name Lenovo-1, and that's just because I typed that name on the label of this PC icon. So this computer also has the same problem, that it has a profile, a network profile, changed to public instead of private. So I'm going to come down to the network icon in the system tray. It looks like a little computer monitor. Click the right mouse button, and then from that menu select Open Network and Internet Settings. And I see here that it also is a public network. I'll come down to this link that says Change Connection Properties and click on that. And it's set on public. I'm going to change it to private just by clicking on private, and then simply close this window. I can come back down to the system tray, right click on that network icon, and then left click on Open Network and Internet Settings, and see that indeed it is now a private network. I'll close that window and then switch back to the computer on the right. So now I'm going to open Windows Explorer. Scroll down to the F drive, and it still shows a red X. However, when I click on that F drive with the left mouse button, it should then find the files. And it didn't the first time I tried that, so I'm going to try it again. Still doesn't like that. I'm going to click somewhere else, then come back to the F drive. That should be working now. Why isn't it? Let's go back down to the network icon, right click and choose Open Network and Internet Settings. Verify that this is still on private network. Yes, it is. And then I'm going to look at sharing options. And on this computer, verify on the private network. Oh, looky there. This private network has turned off file and printer sharing. I'm going to turn that on because we also need that on. Usually that's on by default. I'm surprised to find that turned off. Now, I don't think that's going to fix the problem because I think the problem's going to be on the middle computer. I'm going to try clicking on that F drive again. Oh, yes, that did fix it. Okay, surprise. I haven't seen that twist before. So that's a second level for you to check on. I have over and over and over been able to fix this symptom by just changing a computer from public to private. So I was surprised to find that setting that way. But that just goes to show you a possible extra setting that you might need to use. Now let's go over to my streaming computer, the one on the far left. And I've got to get to the screen that you see, and there's my notes for setting up this stream. Minimize those windows because we don't need those. And then I'm going to come and show you the printer that I'm set up on this computer to access on another computer. The way I'm going to do that is hold down the Windows key and press the letter R. I want to get to the Control Printers window. Now, I've recently accessed the Control Printers dialog or applet on this computer, so it's showing there right now. One of the things that happened when Windows 10 came along and a lot of technicians were disappointed with is getting to the Control Printers window was a little more cumbersome. The way that I like doing it is doing that Windows key and the letter R and then just type Control Printers. Now, since I have accessed that before, Control Printers has shown up in that drop-down list. But if you're going to a computer that has not accessed the Control Printers applet this way, then you may have to type out that whole phrase. Now, this wasn't pressing the Windows key and then typing that. This was pressing the Windows key and the letter R to get the Run dialog box, and then type Control space Printers and press Enter. And then here we see this printer. This is the printer that is on another computer that I have tucked away in a closet. That computer doesn't even have a keyboard, monitor, and mouse attached to it. But you can see this printer is grayed out and it says here status is offline. If I double click on that, I can open the applet for that printer and I see that, well, here it's not even showing me offline, but if I go to see what's printing, here I see the offline indicator. Now that's happening because that computer is also set for a public network right now. And I did that manually so that I could show how this symptom operates or what it looks like when the symptom occurs. Now on this computer, I'm going to come down to the network icon, and I think I changed it to public also. No, it's still on private, so it's okay. And let's just for grins go look at the sharing options for private network on this computer. It has network discoveries turned on and file and printer sharing is turned on. But the printer I'm trying to access is not connected to this computer. So it's not a shared printer from this computer. It's shared from that computer called DougZeno. Is that what it was? Yes, Doug-Zeno. So I mentioned before that computer is tucked away in a closet. It doesn't have a monitor, keyboard, or mouse connected to it. And I also do not have a capture device connected to it. So the way I'm going to access that computer to fix it is I'm going to go back to my middle computer and go into my remote control software, which is LogMe and Rescue. Down here on the taskbar, I have that icon, and I already have a remote connection established to that computer, but I see that it's timed out. So I'm going to have to recreate that or reestablish that. I'm going to right-click on that and choose End. Now I'm going to blur out that screen because I'm about to display a list of computers that I can connect remotely to, and I don't want to be revealing client names and staff names, which I would be doing if I didn't blur that screen. So here I'm going to go to that list and type in the designation to get to that computer. Now I'm going to unblur that list and let you see that I have that set up as a remote access computer with called CAC-Zeno. CAC is my business name for my local clients, computer age consulting. And I'll click connect to connect to that computer. I'll put in the username that I used to log into that computer and the password. Of course, the password is not displayed. And click OK. And then close that window. And that establishes a remote connection to that computer. Now I can launch a remote control session. Now this is one of the methods that I can use to connect to a viewer's computer or a participant's computer through this YouTube live streaming and through this YouTube channel that I'm calling Live Windows Training, in order to help them or assist them with their computers or fix whatever's wrong or provide whatever training is needed. Now this computer is a Windows 7 computer. I think it was a Windows 7 Pro. Let's go check on that. I right-clicked on the computer icon in the upper left corner, and then from that drop-down menu, choose Properties. And that shows me Windows 7 Professional. So if I come down to the network icon in the system tray on that computer, I'll right-click and choose Open Network and Sharing Center. Now, this is not a Windows 10 computer. I have never seen this problem with a network profile getting changed from private to public by virtue of a Windows update for a Windows 7 computer. I find that fairly often on Windows 10 computers. Now, I say fairly often, but among all my clients, each time a Windows update comes around, maybe one or two computers among all my clients has this problem happen. So it's not what most people would call frequent, but from a computer consultant's point of view, I see it often enough that it's a nuisance. So with Windows 7, I come over here to where it says Public Network, and notice that's actually a link in itself. I'll click on that. And the choices there look a little bit different than they were with Windows 10. And what I want to choose here is, instead of Public Network, I want Work Network. Even though this computer is in my home, I far prefer Work Network with Windows 7 computers. And we won't get into those reasons here because Windows 7 is no longer supported anyway and very rarely used. In this case, I keep it on this computer because it's a lower capability computer, and I'm pretty much just using it for sharing that printer because it's in a convenient location. And I'm also keeping all these old programs that I might need to refer to at some point. So when I click close on that, so now right here we see Work Network. I'll close this window. Then I'm going to end the remote control session. And then I can end the remote control connection by right-clicking on that and choosing End. Of course, you're not going to be doing that for most of your viewers. You're not going to be needing to do all of that. And I'm going to minimize this. And I'll go back to my computer on the left, which happens to be the computer I'm using for streaming. And then go press the Windows key and the letter R. Control Printers is still showing in that run box or open box in the run command. See the title bar here of this dialog window is called Run. If it didn't say control printers, maybe I've gone into something else since then. Well, I could just start typing control printers and it's going to show up in that drop-down list if I have recently done that on this computer. So then I highlight that one, press the enter key, and that gets me back into the control printers window. And I can double click on that printer. It's no longer gray. I can go to the see what's printing and it shows to be active, and I can actually go and print a test page. I'm not going to print the test page right now because I know I've got letterhead paper in there that I use for invoices and I don't want to burn off a letterhead paper. But basically, we've been through the whole run through now of this issue. Now, this was a Blue Label video showing, intended for people that I refer to as intermediate computer users. And I define that as people who want to be able to fix many of their own problems that they come across on their computers. I'm intending to make a black level video on this same subject. And what I want to do in that video is show how to discover, and I haven't actually gone through this yet. I might actually make this black level video showing the process of figuring out if I can even do this. But what I would like to be able to do is first find the setting in the registry that fixes the network profile, create a batch file to automatically patch the registry for that setting. So at that point, we can have an icon on the end user's desktop they can just double click on and it fixes that without them having to remember how to do what I just showed how to do. But then the next level is there is a event log item that occurs when the network profile is changed to public. So we're going to find when that what that event ID is, and then create a scheduled task that will run that batch file when that event occurs. So what that means, if it works, is that when Windows Update switches the network profile to public, the scheduled task would recognize that that event occurred and then automatically launch that batch file to change the profile back to private. So the black level is intended for computer enthusiasts and network computer technicians that would want to be able to automate this fix so that the users never even encounter the problem. And I think that would be a cool thing to be able to do for our end users. So if you're interested in that video, be watching for it, or give me a note down in the comments that you want to see that video and think that could be useful. So for now, I think that will wrap it up for this video. I hope this has been useful to you. If you'd like to be able to request a session with me to maybe fix something on your computer, or teach you how to do something with your Windows computer, whether it's for personal use or for business use, go to the website LiveWindowsTraining.com and you'll find out there how to request a session. And I hope to hear from you. Have a great day. Catch you later.